can't win.
I don't want a question from you. If you would just shut up for a minute. I was saying, what do you want me to answer? The fact that these idiots are being racist towards Kamala Harris? That's all I was trying to say. And then I was going to go into Kamala Harris is overqualified.
Yes,
She was
go
a
on, go
vice
girl,
president.
go girl.
She was a vice president. Trump was not a vice president.
He was just a president. Go girl.
She was a former senator of the largest state in the union. Trump wasn't. Huh? She was a prosecutor.
A prosecutor, what?
Trump wasn't. She was an attorney general. Trump wasn't. She's overqualified. This is, anyway, what Trump was nothing but a reality star, a fraudster, a convicted felon, and a sexual predator.
Aren't we all, Todd?
And so,
no,
how was Trump?
What the hell?
Yeah, we're all
No,
sexual
no,
predators.
you're not.
Yeah, we're all sexual
How was
predators.
Trump qualified?
I mean, if Trump's a sexual predator, then we all are, because
He was
none of it's real.
guilty.
Speak for yourself, you raging.
Speak for yourself.
Redneck.
He was found guilty of that and had to pay millions of dollars to
Because it was a corrupt court. Because it was a corrupt
Because
court.
you're a dumb redneck. That's why.
Hey, has anybody ever been found guilty who wasn't guilty before, Todd?
His wife said he raped her.
He appointed the judges.
And you said...
Did he go to jail for raping his wife?
You said, that's ridiculous. You can't rape your wife.
Jail for raping his wife.
You're digging your own grave, Stephen. You realize that.
Well, I can't dig my own grave because I keep getting muted.
As you should be.
So, Todd, all right, I'm going to move on.
I can't see you, Aguna. Can you turn your light up?
I have to, because I can't get a word in edgewise.
Huh?
Okay, Todd, do you want to talk about Project
Oh, okay.
2025?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Project 2025 is what Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are backing. And what's in that project is, they said it's 900 pages. I only read like 4 paragraphs of it. I wasn't going to read that whole 900 pages. But what I read was how they wanted to abolish the education system. And they want to abolish the affordable health care. Yeah. But they didn't say what they were going to replace it with.
They don't
Remember, years ago, they were saying, we're going to get rid of the affordable health care and replace it with something better. But they never came up with something better. So now they're just talking about abolishing it, period. So what are those people going to do that are on the affordable health care? So that's just 2. Another thing they want to do is, which is what Clarence Thomas wanted to do, revisit marriage equality. So they want to abolish marriage equality.
I haven't even heard that. Is that true?
Read it.
You don't read or watch the news. Why would you hear it?
No. I do read and watch the news. I don't know where he wants to do anything with marriage equality. I haven't heard anything about that.
I didn't see it on NASCAR. Idiot.
Anyone else? Aguna, slap a conservative, Stephen.
He's blushing.
Yeah, he's the invisible man is hilarious.
Stacey, I speak
on Project 2025.
Yeah, let me speak to that one. Let me speak to that one first. So the funny thing about Project 2025 is Trump and your boy Vance have now tried to figure out a way to distance themselves from Project 2025, because once the actual details of it came out, people started to read it, discuss it, and share bullet points across social media. They found out how unpopular it was. So now Trump is trying to say, I didn't know anything about that. I have nothing to do with that. And the Heritage Foundation itself today say, this was just a wish list. We're not sure. So even they're backing away from it. And this goes back to something we've talked about for years on here. Republican policy is, for the most part, unpopular, which is why they try to run on culture war stuff and image, being the former President Trump, as opposed to actually getting the details. Because when you get in the details, you find out their policies are typically anti-American as far as the citizens. And for the long term, are going to be the things that crumble America. So Project 2025, when you talk about get rid of the Department of Education, they're trying to privatize education. So instead of having your public schools, you'll have private schools for profit in all of these areas where you would basically take all the tax dollars and put them into the hands of your billionaire friends. So ultimately, yeah, it's a huge negative. It's not polling well. They don't know what to do with it now because it's so attached to Trump, because his second in command was one of the people who actually pioneered this and wrote it. So yeah, the Republicans are in big trouble with this Project 2025, and it's going to stick to Trump for the rest of this election cycle. He's got to own it.
And it is a rallying cry. It's a rallying
Stacey, they're
cry.
confused. It's just smaller federal government is all it is.
You don't read, Muskrat.
No, it's just smaller federal government. You can put me, hey, Ghost, hey, Casper. It's just a smaller federal government is what they're basically saying. They want the power to go back to the states like we did originally with our forefathers. Hey, keep whining, ladies, or you can let me talk. Ladies, listen, ladies, stop. Ladies, listen, ladies can't stop talking. Can I talk, ladies? It's me trying to talk. See how they do me, Stacey? But nobody stops them from talking, do they, Keith? Because they don't want me to talk. You know what the truth is. Y'all should be ashamed of yourselves for what you follow and what you do. You should be ashamed of yourselves because you're going to have to answer. But when the time comes, you're going to have to answer for everything you do that you know you're lying. Everything that you do that you know is not right.
Okay.
Because that's the party that you support right now. You're going to have to answer for it.
Thank you.
You're going to have to answer for it, not me.
Aguna, did you want to make a comment about Project 2025?
No, Stacey, I wanted you to say, what are they lying about?
We want a smaller federal government. That's all. We want a smaller federal government.
I'm going to touch on this point.
Aguna,
so
what are they lying about for Project 2025?
So he says smaller federal government.
Know about it.
He says smaller federal government, but he wants to take 40,000 government employees and make them political appointees, which means that you're basically, you're part of making partisan the federal government. So you're going to have 40,000 political appointees. They have to go.
We have that now. We have partisan politics now with what they have.
You just babbled. You wasted your time. Now you don't want me to give substance. So they want to basically have a partisan federal government that's politically appointed, right? So you're devaluing the federal institution, which is what some conservatives want. But at the end of the day, you also want it to be independent, third party. So if you look at the federal government now, it's not politically appointed. Yeah, there's some politics involved, but you have conservatives, you have a whole smorgasbord of political viewpoints within the government, which is what you want. But to say, all right, I can fire 40,000 government employees and then have the executive branch politically appoint them, that will destabilize, and you're going to have a huge shift. And everybody hates big government until you need it when a storm happens.
We don't need big government.
You have
shut up, Muskrat.
Okay,
we don't need big government.
So the other part is dangerous about Project 25 and the J.D. Vance appointment is what you see in the deregulation of cryptocurrency and the devaluation of the dollar. So if you have the dollar right now is the #1 reserve currency for the world, but now you have big tech backing J.D. Vance. And so in order to deregulate crypto, in which you're going to have, again, Nas pointed this out on the last show about the robber baron era in the early 20th century, where you have big corporations now owning the monetary, holding the world currency. Imagine crypto being the higher value than the dollar from a world currency perspective. What does that do to your 401ks? What does that do to inflation? You're not even going to use the dollar at your grocery store. You're going to have crypto, which is owned by big tech. So that's why, when you look at the J.D. Vance appointment, you look at the Trump presidency and how transactional he possibly can be going forward. That's why a lot of moderates in the middle, that's why a lot of people are are very lukewarm on this Project 25, the J.D. Vance appointment, and the Trump platform, because at the end of the day, we care about our future. We need some stabilization. You need some form of government. Yes, we want efficient government. We want government to be working for us. But to say we don't need government at all, we don't need any regulation.
Nobody said that. Nobody said that. We need government. We need to shrink the government.
Shut up.
The government's too large. Shut up, Coach.
Shut up.
Why are you so mad? Why are you blushing? You did say government
You
bad.
be mad too?
Government bad. No regulation good.
Why'd I get
That's
muted?
what you guys always say.
Why'd I get
Because
muted?
you have to stop. I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why, Stephen. Because when you were talking, Aguna was quiet. He didn't say a word, and I'll go back and play that. And now that he's talking, you are talking over him. I will give you an opportunity.
Yeah,
to
but
talk,
the
you
other
can't
guy
do it
was
over
talking
top
too,
of him.
and you didn't shut him up.
I did.
You
When
can't help
actually
yourself.
when you
You
were
have diarrhea
talking,
of the
I
mouth.
put them on mute. And if you go back and look at the video, you can see that they're talking, but there's nothing coming out of their mouths. You know, like the movie.
I don't know. There's one guy I can't see his mouth, but I always hear it. I can't see his mouth, but I always hear it.
I'm going to move on.
Can we move on with the show instead of this clown?
I'm going to move on. Let me share my screen today.
Where are you?
Prime Minister Netanyahu from Israel addressed the U.S. Congress, and let's hear what he had to say. I thought I had that up. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I thought I had it ready to go. I thought I queued it, but now all of a sudden it's not here.
Aguna gave a great breakdown on Project 2025. Oh, go ahead.
It's just a scare tactic by the left. That's all it is. Donald Trump hasn't approved anything about the Project 2025. That's just a scare tactic by the left.
It's an invasion.
I didn't read that on NASCAR.
Not a clash.
Like invasion. Like our country is
a clash between barbarism and civilization. It's a clash between those who glorify death and those who sanctify life. For the forces of civilization to triumph, America and Israel must stand together. Because when we stand together, something very simple happens. We win, they lose.
All right. Who is he talking about when he says we win, they lose, Stephen?
The people who are trying to commit genocide against them, everybody that's all around them that wants Israel to disappear, the ones who really are trying to commit genocide. You have Iran, who our government right now supports, who Barack Obama supported Iran, gave him all kinds of money. Same thing that this administration did. They support Iran, and Iran has a bunch of different. Iran, none of this is lies. This is all the truth. Iran has a bunch of different factions that are going around, and they're attacking Israel right now. Israel is protecting themselves. Israel got attacked by people who ripped the babies out of pregnant women and killed the babies in front of the women that they pulled them out of as they died. Then they raped the babies. These people intentionally try to kill babies. And we have people in this, we have people at the Capitol. We have people at the Capitol today that are for Hamas. We have people in our colleges that are for Hamas, and they are the terrorists. They are the terrorists. Hamas is the terrorist, not the Jews. They're not trying to commit genocide. Hamas is. Hamas is. Iran is. Iran said they want to destroy Israel and wipe them off. Israel never said they want to do that with any country. And Iran wants to wipe us out too. Why would this country be on the side of Iran? Why is anybody in this country on the side of Iran? Because Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Kamala Harris, they're on the side of Iran, and that's a fact. That's a fact.
Okay, thank you.
And the colleges are corrupt. Everything's corrupt right now. Why wouldn't you be on our side? They're going to.
He's got nothing.
They're going to kill you.
We've heard that before. Something new.
Okay. It's funny, you know, these people who are on the dark web, like him, and he just spouts whatever they say. Barack Obama, he. You fill in the blank.
He doesn't sound like that, Cousin Todd.
And They gave him the
sounds
money.
worse.
They didn't give them any money. They were holding their money, so they gave it back. Other than that, you're a criminal. You're a thief. And so they gave their money back.
Okay, Todd, thank you very much. We're out of time.
And Donald Trump pulled out the Iranian deal, right? And that would have prevented him from getting a nuclear weapon. Now they can do what they want to do. And the fact of the matter is, they can go around the U.S. embargo against them. They can sell their oil to India, to Russia, to China. So the fact that you're not even engaging them in order to prevent them from destroying Israel with a nuclear weapon, and all of a sudden you're saying we're giving them money and we're on the side of it. No, if we're on the side of Iran, why do we continue to supply Israel with arms and weapons and everything like that? If Joe Biden was so pro-Iran, he would have cut Israel off a long time ago. So
he did.
Just say all this nonsense. And again, you're discrediting yourself, because we all
No,
know
I'm not.
in that room, they continue to fund Israel. They continue to support Israel. They are
trying to control Israel. They're trying to control Israel in the war.
Israel, because we're giving them money. If I'm giving you money, I should have a stake in what you're doing with my money, right? And you're dropping bombs and killing civilians, and then turning around and saying they're trying to kill us. Two wrongs don't make a right. And there's nothing wrong with saying, hey, whoa, let's bring everybody to the table and get to the bottom of this thing. That's what friends do.
Okay,
don't just allow you to go and kill people and say,
Keith,
hey,
they don't do that.
As they're making settlements on their property.
They kill their own soldiers.
Okay, Keith, are you
No,
going
they
to be
do
able
not.
to comment, or
Yes,
am I
they
going to
do.
get to slap a
This is so
conservative?
stupid, man.
Yes.
Well, what is your comment? I mean, what is your question?
One out of
Did you miss
every
the show?
five.
Are you part of the show?
Just
Are you a
go
part of
take
the
a nap,
show, or
Grandpa.
you not? Because
You go to
do
hell
you
for
know what we're
lying, man.
talking about?
1 out of 5 is really
Well, let's
soldiers
just
killed by
answer.
Go to hell for
We're
lying.
talking about Israel.
Well, I hear a
Should
lot
we
of
give
people talking
Israel
over other people, but I don't know exactly what
Keith,
is it
this
that
is
you're-
what we're talking about. Should we give Israel money? Should we continue to
Yes.
give Israel money? Yes or no?
Yes.
You said no.
Yes. Well, I'll tell you yes now.
Keith,
yes,
you're
I
two-faced.
said
You're
no.
flip-flopper. You
No,
said
I'm not a
no.
flip-flopper. Not a
You said no to
flip-flopper.
Israel and Ukraine. You said no money
I
to
said
Israel
Israel and
Ukraine.
Ukraine. I said we have to take the money, money that we should not be giving money to any country that is not, in favor of us.
Ukraine, you said.
Israel, yeah, I did say that. I know, but I'm trying to explain to you. I said yes. At one point, I did say Israel. We shouldn't be giving money randomly to Israel without knowing what it's being used for. So now Israel is fighting for its life. So yes, we should give money in that
You
situation.
didn't say we fight. You said we shouldn't give them money. You said churches should give them money.
Yes,
and,
well, they're going to do
not
that
the
anyway.
government.
Yes,
You said
Cousin Todd, you're asking for a lot.
Churches
for
do
him
it
to be
anyway.
consistent.
Churches and nonprofit organizations, yes, they
But
should
not
be
the
giving money
government.
to Israel, and they
Yes.
will do it. They
and
already
you said
do.
not the government.
Well, that's because the government is being right now is being used and abused. It's like Trump said, we're being so abused and oppressed.
Okay,
by
so
other
we should
countries.
not give money to Israel then, correct?
Only in that situation I just explained.
Man,
Oh,
okay,
dumbest man. God.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I'll be quick so you can get to other topics.
I know you guys have a hard time discerning.
Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
you have a hard time listening and speaking. Yeah, you need some help with your motor skills. Ultimately, Bibi is the most unpopular leader on the globe. Unpopular at home, unpopular abroad. And I don't think we're going to see too many situations like we saw today. I feel like the world's temperament, watching these videos daily of Palestinians being slaughtered, and people are changing their minds about some of these things we're seeing. China actually held a negotiation with the two factions from the Palestinian cause, trying to get them to figure out some type of peace plan here. That used to be our position, where we were the ones who brokered deals like that. And sadly, we can't afford this anymore, because ultimately the influence that we used to need from them in the oil heavy region, well, that was back when we imported all of our oil. Now we are the #1 oil exporter in the world. Yep. And I just don't know if we really need them anymore. So this like subservient, like pitiful display we saw today where everybody's standing and clapping every 10 seconds. Oh, what did Drake say? Kendrick opened his mouth, give him a Grammy. Well, that's what you saw in this display here. Like, it was just ridiculous, fawning over this terrorist, this murderer, this butcher of people in the world. So
that was only inside the Capitol. Outside, it was a different story.
Yeah, and the protests were out there. They burned him in effigy. Salute to Rashida.
I got a question for you guys.
Michigan.
I have a question.
Whoa.
Why are we exporting oil, and yet we are preventing and prohibiting our own drilling of oil? Why are we not? Why are we drilling the only oil that we go after is to give away? I mean, I don't understand that.
Yeah, your question should answer itself.
We're not going to talk about that right now. If we have time, at the end, I will let you address it. Don't talk over me, please. Go ahead. Are you finished, Slappa Conservative?
No, he was
not. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So just finishing quickly. Salute to Rashida Tlaib for standing in that, pack of wolves in there, holding up that sign, saying stop genocide, and that, Bibi is what he is. I respect her for taking that stance, really unpopular. And I do have to say this to the Democratic voters out there. Kamala is not going to change course on this. Sadly, she can't. We're way too cash invested on this for now, and we're going to have to see this play out over years. This is not going to be a quickly resolved thing. And I'll end there.
It's a complex issue.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you. Today, I'm going to move on. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle resigns. Watch this, please.
Service resigned today, one day after admitting the assassination attempt on Donald Trump was the agency's most significant operational failure in decades. As CBS's Scott McFarland reports, Kimberly Cheadle drew sharp criticism from both parties.
10 days after the historic failure in Butler, Pennsylvania, Kimberly Cheadle resigned as U.S. Secret Service Director, writing to colleagues, "This incident does not define us," and that she didn't want to be a distraction. In a statement, President Biden said Cheadle had shown incredible integrity.
"I take full responsibility for any security lapse."
In graphic body camera footage from local police in the aftermath of the assassination attempt, agents could be seen standing over the bloody body.
Beaver County sniper seen and sent the pictures out. This is him. Okay.
Investigators also sought access to a drone. More revelations today. The Pennsylvania State Police Commissioner revealed 2 local police snipers were posted with a view of the roof used by the gunman, but left their posts to search for him. And that a local officer came face to face with the shooter minutes before the gunman pulled the trigger.
It was minutes. It was a very short period of time, even for his ability.
But not seconds.
I would say minutes.
Despite that encounter and rally goers pointing out Thomas Crooks on the roof, he was still able to open fire, killing 1 and wounding 3 others, including former President Donald Trump, who posted on social media, "The Biden-Harris administration did not properly protect me." For John Abel, who was seated steps from Trump in the podium, the resignation was warranted.
I think it's kind of a slap in the face for everybody who was there that their safety was put on the line from their lack of competence.
An acting Secret Service Director, Ron Rowe, will now lead the agency. In the meantime, the U.S. House has launched a bipartisan task force to investigate the assassination attempt, with the Secret Service's own review, Nora, due in about 2 months.
Thank you. Any comments before I move on? We're out of
I
time.
got one. Yeah, I got one. It's interesting to note. She
Keith,
said
can you
that
show your face?
I'm on. My face is on.
No, it's not.
It's not, but
Look
try
at the
it.
screen.
What happened?
Look at the screen.
Well, you're dumb. So
I'm
you
happy.
typically have trouble doing things.
I'm having some difficulties here with the.
Okay, go ahead,
As we
Keith.
know.
Anyway, yeah, she took responsibility, she said, for the security lapse. Yet she could not explain or answer any questions at the hearing that they had. She didn't answer one single question that either a Democrat or a Republican asked. So I think that, she should be fired. Well, she stepped down, but she ought to have been fired anyway. So and that is a perfect example of DEI, because there she was hired because she was a woman. She wasn't hired because she was competent. So, Stephen,
How do you know
you're right.
this?
How do I know
this?
it?
Just pulls it out of his
How
ass.
do I know it? Because of her failure of what I just said.
Yeah, what we just saw. What we just saw is our proof. Yeah,
What is her
it's our
resume?
proof.
For the
We
last,
So
just
you
saw.
have her resume? You
No,
have
we
her
just
resume?
saw
Not
the
Where did she go
job
to
she
school?
did.
No.
The job she
Anybody
did, we
who is
just saw
competent.
she does not qualified.
Okay,
Anybody who
that's
is
cool.
competent,
So you
they
don't
Then
know.
could have
Trump,
answered. They
that
could have
means
answered
Trump
questions.
shouldn't be president because of the way
She
he
could have
handled
answered.
COVID.
She could have
Trump
answered
shouldn't be
questions,
president.
just
We
like
saw
Joe
the way he
Biden.
handled COVID.
And I'll
He
just
was
say, in
incompetent.
addition, Joe Biden should not even be in office right now, because why would he say that he's incompetent to run, and yet he is competent enough to finish
He
out
didn't
his
say he was
term?
incompetent.
Because
Never
the
said that.
the
That's what
Democrat
Fox
Party
News
is
told you.
corrupt.
Yes,
Joe,
and
Joe.
they didn't even
You see how
vote.
you're pivoting
Kamala
all
was
this?
Kamala was
Well-
not voted in. Kamala was appointed, not
Yeah.
voted. So
It's
You
a
mean
coronation. It's a
president?
coronation,
about
Keith.
Delegates
destroying
voted.
democracy.
Yes, it is
Why
a
are you
All right,
so
thank
worried
you.
about what the
They
Democrats
don't
do?
care
I
about
get Laguna
democracy.
understand what that word
Laguna
means.
doesn't care.
The Marxist communists don't care about democracy.
See how you're pivoting?
Yeah, I
You're
know.
pivoting. You went from the FBI director to attacking the Biden administration. At the end of
That's
the
right.
day, he took
It's all the
he took
same.
accountability.
It's all the
He
same,
gave away-
Aguna.
But for some
Yeah.
breaking news,
FBI,
for
Biden,
Antoine,
all the
this
same.
afternoon that New Jersey
resigned.
Senator
So
Bob
fast.
Menendez will officially resign from office. Antoine Lewis starts us off tonight with the news coming in at this hour. Antoine?
Well, Bianca, Natasha, exactly 1 week after being convicted on all counts in his federal corruption trial, senior New Jersey Senator Bob Menendez says he
Look at all
will
those
be
blacks
leaving
on Fox
office. Now, we want to
News.
show you a copy of the resignation letter that he submitted to New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy. The senator says he will officially step down on August 20th, allowing for an orderly transition and allowing the governor to find an interim replacement. Now, today's announcement comes again a week after Menendez was found guilty of acting as an agent for the Egyptian government and selling the power of his office to a group of local businessmen looking for favors. In the process, he became the first sitting member of Congress to be charged with conspiracy by a public official to act as a foreign agent. Menendez insisted that he's innocent and even mentioned his resignation in his resignation letter
man,
that he
I'm
plans
innocent.
to appeal
These
last
gold
week's
bars
verdict
ain't mine.
all the way up to the Supreme Court if necessary. Now, if the appeal fails, the 17-year-old senator is facing the possibility of decades in prison. Sentencing has been set for late October. Now,
He had to go. He had to go. There was no question. The gold bars
What
are
about
what
the
they
corrupt
are.
justice?
This man was
Okay,
using
any
his
comments on
office.
Senator Menendez before I move on? Because we're out of time.
He's not much different than what Joe Biden did when he during his years. It's about the same.
And
Joe
Trump, right?
Biden.
Joe Biden is Joe Biden. He's not running. Get over it.
Yeah, but a couple
He's
weeks ago,
not
you thought he was
running.
running. Hey,
He's
Stacey,
not
can I say
running.
something about that?
Yes,
No.
go ahead.
Jesus Christ.
The Secret
Thank you,
Service
so
woman,
crazy.
the
She said,
woman
yeah,
from
go
the
ahead.
Stacey, the woman from the Secret
Go ahead.
Service, she's already
Go
got a
ahead.
new job. She's head of security for Victoria's Secrets.
You guys just can't help
Jokes aren't
yourselves.
funny.
Yeah, I mean, you can't help yourself.
She is, and that she says this is where I should have been all along. I'm a guard Victoria's Secret because ain't nobody
Are
taking
you
shots
serious,
of her.
Stephen? Are you serious?
Donald Trump was allowed for a child to take him out by our government. This is what's real. This is what's really going on, guys. I don't know why we can't get on the same side because a president, the person who should be president, was taken out almost,
How long is this gonna go?
but his own government didn't even protect
Stacey will
him.
not shut
His
him
own
up.
government didn't
Now,
protect him.
Stacey
God
just
damn.
sits
Are
there
you
in
serious?
a
It wasn't
daze,
because they were
Dumb shit
incompetent.
staring
into
into
space.
It wasn't
No,
because they were
Shut him
incompetent.
up.
This man can't
Stephen,
spell
are you
incompetent.
serious? Stephen,
Yes.
is this a joke or what? Are you
This
serious?
is
No, this is
Stacey.
serious. His
Stacey's
own
daydreaming.
Donald Trump's own country, own people wanted to take him out.
Why
That's
didn't
why
you
they
shut
let
him
this
up?
guy that was
Why
on the
would you
roof
let
that
him
they
go
know,
on and
they
on
let
and
him
on?
get shots
But
off
you
on
shut
Donald
me up
Trump before they
immediately.
shot him.
No,
That's why
Stephen, I
they
mean,
let
is
him
that
get shots
Thank
off. They
you.
knew where this guy was. They had a bead on him. They let him get shots
Our
off,
last
and then they shot him.
closing
They
subject.
wanted Donald Trump to be dead because during the
Those are
convention,
white people.
because of the convention, Donald, it would have been like a mortuary. It would have been
such a pie
Massey was
hole.
buried in Springfield. And while there were 2 sheriff's deputies present during the shooting, the one who fired at Massey did not turn on his body-worn camera until after the shooting, which means
Oh,
that
isn't
from
that interesting?
between them and this mother of 2, we only have one camera angle to analyze.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
Right. It all went wrong in under 30 seconds, from the moment when Sonia Massey walked over to her kitchen stove until she lay dying on the floor, shot in the face by Sangamon County Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson.
Where you going? Away from your hot steaming water. Away from my hot steaming water? Yeah. Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I swear to God, I'll shoot you in your face. Okay, I'm sorry. Drop the pot! Drop the pot!
The deadly shooting took place in Springfield on July 6th, when 2 sheriff's deputies responded to a 911 call made by Massey herself, who believed there was a prowler in the area. Body cam video shows the deputies searching the neighborhood before knocking on her door, then waiting for several minutes until she opened up for them. Massey initially seems confused, unable to clearly express what she needed.
Please God, I'm trying to get help, y'all, but
What do you need help with?
nothing. I just, please God, please. I don't know what to do.
In the aftermath of the shooting, Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson tells responding officers Massey came after him. But at least in the video from his own body-worn camera, that does not appear to be the case.
You shot her?
Yeah. She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came out with boiling water. That's what all this is. I was standing right here.
The shooting has led to protests and outrage in Massey's Springfield community. Sheriff's Deputy Sean Grayson was arrested and charged with, among other things, 3 counts of first-degree murder. The shooting led to strong rebukes from Governor J.B. Pritzker and today from President Biden himself, who said in a statement that Massey should be alive today. Sonia called the police because she was concerned about a potential intruder. When we call for help, all of us as Americans, regardless of who we are or where we live, should be able to do so without fearing for our lives. Massey's family, along with attorney Ben Crump, gathered in Springfield just a short time ago, reacting publicly to the video for the first time.
This man should have never had a badge.
Never.
He should have never had a gun.
Never.
He should have never been given the opportunity to kill my child.
Never.
Now, Grayson was fired by the Sangamon County Sheriff's Department and will remain in custody pending his trial. And, we did reach out to his attorney to try and get a statement after that video was released, but we were told that at this time they don't have one.
What a story that video.
Now, I'd like for you to go to 2 people, Keith and Stephen, and watch how both of them.
Why would you want that, Todd?
Because
how old is
I want
this?
I want the audience to see the ignorance that comes from Keith and Stephen and the racism. How
old is this?
How
old is this video we just watched?
How old is the
It
video?
may be like,
It seems like it was 10 years ago.
A few weeks. No, it's only a few weeks ago.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't.
Don't make yourself look dumb, Stacey.
I'm not.
It doesn't matter.
Nobody's making themselves look dumb. I don't know when this was.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Stop talking. This will be our round table. We're going to start with Keith, then Stephen, then Slap a Conservative, then Aguna, then Cousin Todd. Now,
I wish she would.
Well, if they
whenever you're ready, Red Boy.
Are they going to let me
Come
finish my
come
statement?
on, Casper.
All right. So look, it's a tragic thing that happened to her. I mean, I was a little bit drawn back by her confusion. Maybe she was scared or something. I don't know why she wasn't able to articulate what her problem was with the officer in the beginning. So I don't know what that was all about. She sounded confused and rebuking him in the name of Jesus. I mean, what was that all about? I don't know. But anyway,
well, you're not a Christian. You're not a Christian.
She was a little bit confused to me. So I don't know what was happening there. But
she knew she was in the presence of the devil.
It's a tragic thing. See, there you go. There they go. It's a tragic thing. What happened to her is a tragic thing. I just wish, oh God, I wish that the country or that the media would cover like what happened just recently, around the same time, an illegal alien had raped and murdered an American woman.
We're
Would you
talking
say
about
yes? I'm
you
going to
can't
pivot.
change the subject. Stay
Steve, I'm
move
gonna
on.
pivot because nobody came out. I didn't see
Thank you for your
any
time.
press
Thank you for your
conference by the
time.
media. I didn't see any press conference. I didn't see any the community come out. I didn't see the
Then
black.
how'd you know?
See, this is
How'd
what
you know about the
I'm
story?
talking about. Not until we treat these as equal. We've got to say that it is wrong. It is wrong to murder. Okay.
Yeah.
If that police officer is convicted, if he actually murdered her, he was wrong and he ought to be prosecuted. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Just like the
We're out of time.
illegal immigrant.
Thank you, Stephen.
That's enough.
Simple as that.
Stephen.
Yeah, if it was wrong and it can prove that he committed murder against her, of course. We're not for murder. We're the anti-murder party. We don't want people to murder each other. We want everybody to have peace. That's what we want. We don't want any violence. We're not mean people. We're happy people. So no, we don't want anybody to get killed. We don't want any more people to get killed that's unjust. And I don't know enough. And I don't know enough about this case. I haven't seen enough about it to give you an intelligent opinion. So I'm gonna have to I'm gonna back off against it because I don't know enough about it. And I will look next week. If you want to talk about it next week, we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, thank you, Slapper Conservative.
He's scared. He's scared.
He
I
didn't
just
fall
don't
for
know.
your
I
trap.
haven't seen it.
He didn't fall for your trap, Todd. I'll give it to him. He didn't fall for your trap.
He was scared.
I'm not scared of anything.
Okay, man. Okay.
I fear God. I fear no.
You just passed the mic.
Go ahead,
Shut up.
Slapper Conservative. Aguna, please.
Bring it on.
Out of time.
So
you
the
just
people who
egg Stephen on, Aguna. This is what you do.
Oh, he was
Go ahead,
scared.
Slapper Conservative.
When he does that, I can't resist.
If you're scared, get a dog.
So for the people who actually have read the story, this guy has a dishonorable discharge from the military. He was kicked out for his behavior. He worked in 3 other police departments and was fired from those for his behavior. In the video, you will see a visible Nazi tattoo on his arm, and he murdered this woman after giving her a command to put the pot down, which she did, and then he shot her and then tried to make a false police report and say that she came after him with the pot of water. And then the video came out, and then we saw all the turmoil about it. But really quickly, when somebody like Keith talks about a civilian or an immigrant or somebody else murdering another citizen, that is not on equal plane with a government-sponsored agent, because that's what a police officer is, murder someone. That is why the interest in it is different. That is why the coverage of it is different, because that person has the badge and the authority over life and death, and it has to be restricted and governed in the right way. So out in there,
but Nas, if it happened,
shut up.
Wait a minute.
Hopefully, people will read about this story.
They let you talk, Stephen.
It
They
doesn't
let you talk.
become. It doesn't become a.
I'm agreeing.
Hey, man.
Okay, well, you can agree with him afterwards.
But I will say
thank
this.
you, Slapper Conservative.
But I will say this. I was interrupted. I will say this. It's really shocking to me that I can hear a Christian say they've never heard somebody say, "I rebuke you in the name of Jesus." That is shocking that a Christian would say that.
Not only that, rebuking someone in the name of Jesus is somehow the same as having a firearm or inducing some bodily harm to an armed officer who gave her a command to put it down. This is cold-blooded murder in real time, right on the video. There's no dancing around this, all right? And it's unfortunate that a law enforcement officer would do that, considering that there's so many other police officers that are taking responsibility and are accountable for their actions. You know, even if the woman was incoherent and not being able to articulate why she called, it's their job and their duty and their obligation to de-escalate. You don't draw weapons, and there's not an immediate threat there. You know, you're saying a pot of boiling water is a threat. You could easily, before you choose to draw your firearm and take life, I mean, you could be scolded. I mean, there's so many different things that, you know, could have happened, but they didn't. They chose to escalate and not de-escalate, and that's what's disturbing the most in this video. Especially, she wasn't harmed. She wasn't harmed, And she didn't come at him. She wasn't threatening him. She said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. First Amendment. She didn't say, I'm going to shoot you and all this. I'm going to. She didn't say all that. And that guy was a big guy. He wasn't under any type of life or death situation there. He was just having a bad day. He saw this woman.
No, he wasn't.
Clearly, his
How do you
record
guys know he
shows-
wasn't going after her? How do you guys know that?
You saw the video. We have eyes. And why are you jumping to defend this guy? I mean,
because he's a moron.
He's white.
Yeah, you don't have to defend him in order to get in the
I'm
white
not
man's
defending
heaven,
him.
Keith. You do this every. All right, you will be able to serve biscuits in white man's heaven.
Okay, thank you, Aguna.
Right?
Thank you, Aguna.
Well,
Cousin Todd.
Okay. From early on, this white devil was saying things like, get the pot water off, so we're not trying to start a fire in here with me in here. See those kind of smart aleck remarks he was making to her?
No,
That told
he didn't
you-
want the water boiling.
Do you see how stupid? This is what I wanted from Keith and Steven, so the audience can see just how ignorant.
But he
and
didn't
racist
want the
these
water
people are.
boiling, right?
I don't
If the
care
water,
what
if
you
someone
want-
has
Shut
boiling
up,
water,
shut
they can throw it on you.
Shut up.
He didn't talk during your round table. This is his round table.
I'm just trying to. I'm trying to make sense of what he's
Get
saying.
him off the
Well,
show.
you can't make sense. You're a moron. Shut up.
Yeah, you.
So
Yeah,
now
you're
I'm-
welcome.
See, Stacey, you don't do anything. You just seem like you go into space when this idiot starts.
I was just having a conversation with you, man.
Nobody wants to have a conversation with you, redneck.
No. Now, from the beginning, he was saying things like, turn the water. Now, she wasn't touching the water. The water was boiling because she was making tea. He told her to go over there and turn that pot of water off in her own house. This is I can't. And so he was nasty to her from the very beginning. He was obviously a racist, and Aguna think having a bad day. He was not. He just don't like Negroes. And now I got to be in this Negro's house, and she don't even know look, get over there and turn the water off. I'm not going to sit in here and let the house catch on fire with me in here. It was just outrageous. And then shot her in the face. She was nowhere near him. He was in another room. But this is what racists do. They get something in them. This black woman, small, and this demon, big. And Keith can't understand why she was rebuking the devil in the name. I don't understand what she was so confused. Doesn't matter. She can be confused in her own house. So anyway, this is what Keith and Steven do. They give out to these devils, these white devils that kill women, especially Keith because he hates his mother. So it's no big deal for him to shoot this woman. Oh, well, maybe she should have got her speech together.
Maybe he doesn't hate his mother. Maybe he really doesn't hate his mother.
Says you. I know.
No,
better.
I mean, who hates their mother? Does anybody on this show hate their mother?
Well, if
No, no one on the show hates their mother.
Well, why would he
Thank you,
say
Cousin
that? Why would he
Todd.
say somebody hates their mother?
Because he hates all blacks. He hates anybody that looks like
He
himself.
doesn't hate anybody that's
and
black.
this is why.
I don't think Keith has a hateful bone in his face.
Okay, stop talking. Thank you,
Keith
Cousin
is not
Todd.
hateful.
We are out of
Not to
time.
you, because you two want to get met. Well, never mind. You know what? Just forget I said anything.
That's between a man
To
and a
our first
woman.
responders, excuse me, to our first responders in our communities, you make our lives livable. Thank you, thank you, thank you to the women and men of the U.S. military for all that you do in sacrificing your lives so that we are free to say whatever we choose on this show. We are forever indebted. On behalf
Stop
of Aguna,
showing those gang member signs, Stephen.
the Nigerian model Republican,
Stephen's got to
Keith,
go burn a cross.
the constitutional conservative,
He can't spell
Stephen,
Constitution or conservative.
Excuse me, I have to go
the
burn a
independent
cross.
thinker,
Clip that. Clip that.
slap a conservative.
The first
Thank you
honest
for
thing he
joining
said
us
all day.
tonight.
That's the first.
I need to go burn a cross.
And my cousin Todd.
Silky Slim.
Sticky Slim, baby.
I'm Stacy Johnson.
Your
Let's keep
hair
this
looks great
conversation
tonight,
going.
Stacy.
Excuse me. I'm Stacy Johnson. Let's keep this conversation going on Stephanie Stallworth, the Flow Television Network.
Well, it
Google
does.
it. Twitch, X, Instagram, TikTok at spoilertix.com. And please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel and Spoilertix. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next week. Good night.
That's funny. He said, your hair looks nice. She said, wait a minute.
I didn't hear
No,
it.
it looks really great, Stacy. It looks
Thank
great.
you. And my thoughts and prayers go out to Sonia Massey's family. That was a horrible, horrible tragedy. It was so hard to watch that video.
It was
Oh,
ridiculous.
the pain that family is going through. I feel so bad about that.
This is what happens when you call the police.
And this is why we need a national database on terrible officers. So that way,
Right.
once he got fired from the other three precincts, he wouldn't have got
Just
hired
like-
again.
That's
The idea
right.
that
Just like Catholic churches with priests. Just like Catholic churches with priests, just like cops. If there's people raping children or killing people or being horrible people, there should be a database. I agree with you, man.
Yeah, but the people that they rape should be forced to have their babies. Right? Craig,
I was talking about boys being raped, and as far as I know, they
because
can't
girls
have
can't-
babies.
Because
I was
girls
talking about
can't be
Catholic.
raped.
I was talking about Catholic priests,
Yeah.
man. I wasn't talking
But
about
yeah.
chicks.
But Aguna, check out that tattoo, man, because that's going to be an interesting thing too with this case. When people see that tattoo on his sleeve, like, bro, that's like real level,
Right there,
high,
real
nasty
time.
All right,
stuff,
who is
man.
it? Who is
Racism
it now
doesn't
that has
exist.
that tattoo?
Racism doesn't exist.
No, who was it that has that tattoo?
The cop.
What were we just talking
Oh, okay, the cop that did that. If he did, then yes, he should lose his arms. He should be hung. We all agree that anything that happens
agree.
horrible to any person, no matter what race they are, we should all be on the same side and say, we don't like that. We don't want this. We should all be on the same side, right?
No.
No, I don't want
no.
anybody hung. I want him to do 80 years.
I want him to get the electric chair.
His life.
Yeah, but I don't want anybody hung that doesn't deserve to be hung.
I want him to get the electric chair, but only after 25
There's
years.
so many people because I'm not for the death penalty, because there's so many people throughout the years that have died and from the death penalty, but they were not guilty.
You're like-
I have
Right.
friends of mine that were in jail for 20 years for murder, but they didn't never murder anybody, and they proved it later. So they have DNA and stuff like that
Kamala
now.
Harris is against the death penalty, like Keith pointed out in California. So
Who
you're
is?
for Kamala. Because she's against the death penalty, like Keith pointed out. So
Right, I don't think the
you're
death
for
penalty is a
Donald
good
Trump is
thing
for the
unless
death
you
penalty.
really know they committed the crime.
Donald Trump is
So
for
don't
the
try to
death
skate around
penalty.
it. Don't.
No, I mean, if you have the scientific proof that somebody did it, then it's probably best to get them the hell out of here.
But not.
Keith, I can't hear
You're
you,
on
Keith.
mute.
Keith, you're on mute.
If somebody breaks into your house and they have a weapon, they come at you and you shoot them, do you believe in the death penalty there, right there at that moment?
What do you mean the death penalty? The death penalty of killing them?
That's not a death penalty. That's not the death
That's
penalty.
not the death penalty.
If you shoot
That's
and
you
kill
just
them.
kill somebody. Hey,
All right,
Keith,
so-
if somebody's in
well,
my
I
house
assume
and
you
they're not
guys-
supposed to be there,
I
I'm going to kill them. I don't care what happens.
I assume that everybody, most people that are against the death penalty are because they want to preserve life, right?
Not
They're
necessarily.
No, I don't think.
No,
I don't
some
think the
people
state-
love
I don't think the
criminals and they
state
don't
should be
want
able
them
make
to
that
get
decision.
killed.
You value
It's
life.
not about preserving
You
life. It's
value the
about,
life
I mean,
even of the
self-defense
murderer.
and then finding
Am I
someone guilty
correct?
of a crime and killing them is a different thing.
Us earlier
If
about
I'm
that.
defending
Now-
myself,
Now
it's
you
life
want
and
to
death
put the
situation
idea
is
of
different
life
than-
and death in the hands of the government. So that doesn't make sense. You say
Yeah,
you're
it's
against
not a-
the
it's a
government.
If you have the proof that they have definitely killed somebody, kill them. But I'm still against that. And I think it was you that said that, Nas, that let them, or maybe it's been a good note, let them just sit in that jail for 80 years. I don't care either way. I don't have no bloodlust.
No,
Whatever
no.
happens, happens. But if somebody is not guilty, that's what we have to find out. Because I have friends now that have been in jail for 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, and then
That's
they
why
found
you
out
have
through
the appeals
DNA
process.
that they never committed the crime. And then they get like a couple $1 million, but I'm gonna need more than a couple $1 million if I spent all that years in jail, man. You know, that's what we need to concentrate
Not
on.
necessarily. If you had a good time.
No. Well, you know, some people that are just optimistic, happy people, they can have a good time anywhere.
Sure.
You start drinking. Your voice seems to be a little different the last couple minutes.
Oh
Did you
no,
take a
I'm
shot?
a little bit sick tonight. I'm a little bit sick. I've been you know, take care of my sister, and she's in a facility right now. And yesterday, if it was yesterday, I wouldn't have been able to do the show. I'm a little bit sick tonight. I'm doing my best. I'm being like Joe Biden. I'm being a superstar. I'm being Superman tonight, trying to hang in there. Yeah.
He knows vodka.
What the hell?
I'll let y'all next week.
All right, man.
Trump campaign can get themselves back together. Vance, that might have been the worst idea they could have come up with, man.
I don't care for Vance. I don't care for Vance that much.
As tough as I think he is, he should kick Vance off the ticket and get somebody else on there.
Yeah, I don't care. I don't care for Vance.
Why?
Because he's too commercial.
What?
He's too commercial. He's already too well-known. And I'm not sure about him. What they needed to do was get Youngkin from Virginia. He's milk toast. They don't have nothing on him.
Well, the VP.
If you're in the lead, then you grab some milk toast, and it don't matter what happens after that. That's what Pence was to Donald Trump. That's what McConnell could have been. This guy could be a problem.
We'll see.
Yeah, I wouldn't have picked him.
He is going to be a problem because already they're playing clips of him saying,
hey, somebody, you all have to put your mute buttons on because you're having a reverb. Okay, go ahead, Cousin Todd.
They're already having problems out of him because they're saying, he was saying that women who don't have any children shouldn't have any say in government, like AOC.
I don't think he exactly said that. I don't think that's verbatim. But he said something close. You're right, Aguna. He said something close to that. And I think he's a liability. I never would have chose that kid.
Have you seen him stump? Have you seen his last stump speeches? Have you watched his mannerisms?
Yeah.
And how
I'm not crazy about him. I'm not crazy about him, Aguna. I think he's a detriment. I think he can hurt Trump.
His hillbillyology. Did you read that book? Again, this guy went to Yale. He is far from a hillbilly. He's far from a common guy. He made millions off of, you know, wasn't he a VC or something like that, venture capitalist or something like that? He's not like us or whatever. He's not who we think he is.
But
Aguna, I lost a lot of money because I took the governor from Virginia.
Trump is just like them, and they think Trump likes people like them.
Somebody told Trump to take that guy. I don't agree with it. I think it's going to hurt him a little bit.
Elon Musk did. Again, going back to you're a conspiracy theorist, Stephen, and look at crypto. Look at crypto versus the dollar. The only way
I'm not a conspiracy theorist because everything I say comes true. It's not a conspiracy. It's just factual. It's factual. Right, so but what you're saying is,
as I was saying, the reason why the tech industry is backing JD Vance because he's transactional, and they're going to regulate crypto. And I don't know about you guys, but I value the dollar over crypto. I want the dollar is the world currency. But
yeah, we agree on a lot, Aguna. Right,
well, that's what I'm saying.
Agree.
So
I agree with you.
This guy is a danger. You know, again, JD Vance. Keith, as much as Keith wants to deregulate this, deregulate that, they deregulate crypto, and the value is devalued, and now you no longer can go to the bank and get money. You got to go and buy crypto at whatever. You know, it's not a good thing. You're talking about something worse than the Great Depression.
Yeah, but what they're
So-
talking about is things that are happening in other countries, and banks are closing up. I had a friend in Greece 20 years ago that had to keep going to Greece and trying to get in a little bit of his money at a time because their banks were shutting down. That's what our banks are going to do. Get your
it's
money
gonna
out.
do-
Find a way to get
What-
your money out of the big banks.
Well, they're going to do that if it shifts
Trump
to
gets
crypto.
in.
Now, if you currently, because you
Not
again,
even if it shifts to crypto. You got to get your money out of big banks right now
Oh my
and put
God.
them in smaller banks because or credit union. Where anybody that was ex-military, put them in a credit union because these big banks.
But it's
That-
all,
that's-
it's all
that every
held by
every
the
country
central
that went down was because they
Oh,
let their
gosh.
banks screwed them over. The big banks screwed them over.
That's why we have
They're
the
going to
Federal
take your
Reserve.
money, dude.
You have the Federal
I'm
Reserve
getting
Bank.
out of here.
You have
Yeah, the
central
Federal
bank.
Reserve. It's all Federal Reserve is not our friend, Aguna.
I mean, they're
Okay.
not supposed to be our friend. They're supposed to be propping up the dollar. They're not-
But they're not. We're in a lot of trouble right now, man. That's why I said, why can't we get together and let the little things go, and then all of us get together and say, hey, how can we beat this? Because we're getting beat up.
We're trying to make money. We're trying to maintain our lifestyle
Hey,
and,
listen,
and tell the government to leave us alone. But
Did-
Right,
one of
but
you-
big government is in charge right now. We want smaller government.
but they've always been in charge. The government's always going to be in charge. It's just how they.
Okay,
how
I
they are
got to
in
get
charge.
out of here. But
Good
before I
night.
go,
All
does
right,
anybody
guys.
have a
Good night. I'm
camera
out of here.
phone?
Right.
Okay,
Good night.
never mind.
Hey, peace and love, everybody. What do you have to say, Todd?
Oh, nothing. Nothing. I'm going to do
Come on,
myself.
say it, man.
Oh, nothing. I was just looking for a camera phone or something to
Oh my
see what I
gosh.
look
Triple
like.
A. Peace out. A-Town down.
Good night.
Holla.
Yeah, let's see what gets
Peace
you
out,
next
everybody.